everyone, it's Julia. I'm working on a denim bag today, and I thrifted the pair of jeans. I've already cut it off about 4 inches from the crotch, and I'm going to have to do something with this. I think I'm just going to fold this over and stitch it. And then on the back too, I'll probably have to just do a little pleat or a little tuck and stitch that. So that still needs to be done. I did even it out so that the top met at the top, the top met at the top, and then the bottom is quite straight across. Most jeans will have a dip in the front, but I did straighten it, or I made it so it did meet at the top, because I am going to just put a piece of Velcro for the closure. And because it's going to just be a Velcro closure, I am going to put a hanging zippered pocket on the inside. I've already done in the past a demonstration on how I made this zippered hanging pocket, so I'll link that video down below for you. I don't show it. I've already have a complete, and a lot of times I'll just sew a bunch of these so I have them on hand, and then I can just grab one when I want to create a project. I recently picked up this skein of, it's actually silk. It's just wonderful. It's just me because it has a lot of texture to it and a lot of color to it. Slubs in it. It's just really fun. And this is actually my second spool of this, skein of this. I love it. So I have used it. But I cut off a piece of it and I twisted it. So there's this actually two different strands of it, knotted both ends. And I think I'm just going to decorate the top of this by running this through the loops. So that is my idea for that. I have an old belt that's also thrifted that I'm going to use for the strap. This has got a heavy buckle on it, but I think I'm going to leave it hang down. I might dangle something from that. And then there's some patches or just some fabric scraps that I have that I love the colors. This is just a little piece, but I really like that flower. And it just kind of goes with this. I don't know for sure how I'm going to arrange all this. I do like this color with it too. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to probably stitch this part down first and then do my patchwork and arrange it, stitch that down, and then we'll see where it goes. I'm to my sewing machine and I'm going to close up that crotch seam. And then it's back to my table and I want to try to figure out how I want to lay out my patches. And I've got this, I really love this circle fabric and I tried to use it, but once I got going on it, I just didn't like it with the rest of my fabrics. And so I did not end up using it. I'll use it in another project, but it went into my my little scrap pail here. And so it'll go into something else, but I fiddled around with it for a while, but I just didn't like it. I really love this floral flower piece though. And so I'm going to keep that. And then I had added this little mustard patch as well. Have a piece of that trim that I'm going to use for the belt. And then I don't show this, but I do end up just securing those with just a glue stick. And then I'll take them to my sewing machine and sew those. I brought out my stencils. Now these stencils are big. They're 12 inches by 12 inches. I'll link them down below for you, and I'll also link that silk trim that I showed. And I'm just pouncing that paint right through that, but just with a sponge brush. I'm just using craft paint. It's nothing, just basically from, I think maybe Walmart or Michael's or something, just an inexpensive craft paint. I'm not mixing anything with it either. I'm just using the straight paint. And again, just pouncing it through the stencil. I use these stencils a lot for my Upcycled denim jeans, but also just the back of a shirt. And yeah, they're just a lot of fun. Now back to my sewing machine, and I am going to sew these patches on, just using my free motion foot. So my feed dogs are dropped. I have my stitch length to 0. My stitch width is at 0, of course, and I'm just outlining these patches. And then I'm also just doing a little bit of doodling inside where are the leaves and also this cute little flower. You will see too, I ended up adding part of a selvage edge that I love selvage edges, and you'll see it there. I added that to my design as well. And a little bit of a patch up by the one pocket. Added in that zippered pouch right below the waistline. I just sewed one line right below that waistline. And I went right through. If you can't get through that belt loop, then I would just skip that belt loop and just, yeah, just maybe do a couple of hand stitches in there or something. But that's all complete. And now for this Velcro patch. This is really sticky, too sticky. It gums up your sewing machine. And so I am pressing that Velcro onto a piece of fabric just to remove some of that stickiness. Um, Even like a paper towel would work great for this. And you just want to just get rid of some of that stick. This is just going to go on the center front of my bag. I'm going to unbutton that button and before I stitch this on. So it's going to go on the back side of the button or whatever. These are big buttons. I don't know what these are called, but it's a button. But I want to go over that backing, and so I'm just going to stitch on either side of this. I'm not going to stitch all the way around it. I don't want to break my needle on that. Pressing that together and then getting it where it needs to go on the back side. And I did the same on the back side. I did not stitch through that belt loop. I just stitched on both sides of it so that Velcro is secure. Now I just felt that back needed something. And so I brought out my stencil again. And I wanted to comment, I did not have the right color yellow, so I am mixing a little bit of the yellow, brighter yellow with just some white paint. So I am using 2 different color paints here. And again, just pouncing it through with this sponge brush. It's time to get the bottom sewn. Turning it so it's the insides out, right sides are together. I'm going to remove some of this bulk. I don't need that, and it's just going to get in the way. And so I'm just removing some of that on both sides of this, the front and the back. And a little bit from the back as well. And then I'm going to round these corners. I have a lid here, just going to draw around a lid. Let me just put a couple pins in there. You could also box the corners. I just thought this is going to be, it's a very large bag. It's going to be very slouchy. Just a fun bag. I think it'd make a great beach bag. Just because a towel would fit in there, your book. And just going to stitch up this bottom. I sewed the belt on. That's going to be the shoulder strap. And now I want to add like a dangle to that. And so I'm just pulled out a few fibers and ribbons, and I'm just going to cut. I think I cut about 15 inches maybe of each one. Here's some jute that I'm going to add to it. And then I have a swivel hook that I'm using. Just going to gather these up. and take that swivel hook, thread everything through, and then just pull this tight. Just going to add a fun little detail to the side of that of the side where the belt is hanging. I hope you enjoyed this, everybody. It has some pictures at the end. Hope you have a chance to create this week. Bye for now.